them.
Yeah, so the CLG definitely needs to win here to kind of bounce back. And actually, the game is live, so we could bring it in. These players are live with the pistols. Looks like right off the bat, CLG going to be going with a really standard setup: 3 at A, 2 at B. Nothing too crazy right off the bat. And Lunatik going to be gearing up for an A take of some kind, some aggressive apartments play, as Invert is not only running through apartments, but just has no interest in concealing where they are. Looks like they're actually going to be pushing through their own smoke up mid. Interesting play.
Yeah, they're committing into it. They're going to try and wrap their way into B. They're going to get this called right here. Finesse is going to be the first one. He will make the call. CTs will rotate out, but Drossel is going to be there in the apartments trying to make some headway. Finesse at the construction is able to grab 2. Can he get a 3rd? Relics will trade him out, though, as Tarek also gets scouts out of the way. So they're still gunfighting, still doing what they can as Lucky goes down to Relics. Now it's going to be Relics and Drossel. They're going to be
Drossel
2v3.
can bail his teammate out here.
Oh, he's got to get there.
Yeah, I think Color knows he's there, though, and that's definitely not what Drossel wants.
Oh, he gets away. He hears the shot come off, so he has to know there's a CT behind him. Goes to look for the frag now. Can he get this? Not able to do it. And now Relic's in a dangerous position here. He's got 2 CTs right in front of him. He's got 1 in the B-bomb site. 1 is going to be at CT. Down to about 30 seconds. Relics works his way into the site. Snaps back around 180. Almost a perfect shot there. Playing lights out if he's able to get this. Down to about 20 seconds here. Tarek steps out and gets the finalizing frag of the round. That's a 2K for Tarek, and that will give CLG a huge boost going into this map.
It would have been cool if Relics was able to come away with one of those frags. That really didn't matter which one. He would have made that an exciting round. Just needed to come away with one. But they did a good job of hopping in and out of cover, making sure he couldn't exactly target one. And by splitting him like that, not allowing, having a player on a complete opposite ends of the map for him, unable to target them at the same time, no risk of lining up. So, really good round from CLG. And I feel like this was kind of, it seems similar to some of the rounds that we saw on Cash, where, actually, I guess it was kind of the other way around, where Lunatic eSports on their CT side was kind of getting beat a little bit and would battle back on the round. CLG lost a ton of map positioning right off the bat and was on Finesse, who put together some really nice shots to allow them to bring themselves back into the round. Now Lunatic looking like they just wanted to straight up gun brawl over here at A, but they are unable to pick up any frags hopping in and out of that smoke. Thought they might have even been able to get a bomb plant there, but there's too many bullets flying around for anyone to really get anything done.
Man, looking good now is CLG. That was only a pistol and an anti-eco, though. So if they can hold this together and keep it going, maybe get themselves that first gun round, they're going to set themselves up here. This is a CT-sided map, though, so we should expect the CT-sided team to win the majority of the rounds, unless what we had happen last night happens again, where we end up having an 8-7 half in favor of CLG, and Luminosity doing very well on T-side. So maybe Lunatic wants to try and recreate that scenario again, switch it over to CT side themselves and dominate out.
Yeah, they did actually dink Color all the way down mid. That's going to set them up for this B take. Draw some attention away, but FNS just going to town. You're picking up now 4 frags.
Now Relic's going to be pushing down by himself. Tries to hunt for a kill there. Takes down Hazed. And he's going to pull the pistol back out. Go for another one. Lucky will drop him, though. And that is going to be 3rd round in the books. Finesse with a 4K into it. And that will make it 3-0 for CLG. But Lunatic is going to be on a full buy.
Yeah, and it looks like CLG not going to waste any time with SMGs. Upgrading, which should be all of them, to a better rifle. We're going to see Tarek pulling out the AWP right off the bat, wasting no time, even though we didn't see... actually, no, Hazed going to be picking up that AWP, so who's on the ground. Still going to be using one SMG, but either way, I think that AWP from Tarek is going to make up the difference on the round. Drake throwing a bad flash for apartments, but he's still going to get up there anyway. Seems like CLG has almost no interest in contesting the Lunatic players in apartments, or at least thus far in the game. It'll be interesting to see if they start to change that later down the line, based on if Lunatic is able to get some traction, or if they're able to continuously shut things down. Tarek, as I say, shut things down, starting to shut things down with an opening pick, taking down Relics, the top fragger for the first game.
Oh, Tarek is able to take down Scouts though with a nice shot there. Way out of place if you're Lunatic creeping up like that at that weird funky angle. Easily they get melted by an op. And they walk right into it, so congrats for Tarek, able to get a 2K out of the round initially. Lunatic reeling a little bit here. Drossel not quite able to take down Kettler, so he's going to remove from the round. So now it's up to Drake and Invert. Invert gets into that gunfight. Smoke will go down. Can they make it out? Kettler's still there at the pit. Drake sees where he is, tries to jump across, uses that double box for his advantage to stay alive, and can't keep it up. Hayes will take down Invert, and CLG now is going to be up 4-0.
Yeah, Tarek probably could not have asked for a better outcome for that op, putting himself in a position where he very easily could have been pre-fired, pre-naded, spammed down, chased down, and came away with 2 uncontested frags, so he's going to hold on to that and I'm sure continue to make waves for it. Hazed himself, not even upgrading that ump still, sitting on what, $8,000, $8,200? Still using
Take
the
that
ump.
money. And Tarek, very quick though.
Moved it from B to A.
Yeah. I like the rotation with him. I like what they're doing there later. Move him around a little bit, keep the omp a little bit fresh, move him around. And I see people talking about, is Tarek going to be their omper now? I think on that team at the moment, Tarek is probably the most talented with an op right now. So I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. But I think they're going to lean more towards a 5-rifle setup majority of the time now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seemed like they were comfortable doing on Cash. It really wasn't until their backs were really pressed against the wall that they decided to buy an op, and really they didn't even decide to buy an op. They were buying their ops in pairs. So it was a curious way to use them, but it seems like they're just hopping right into it right off the bat. And as I said, to good success right off the bat. I mean, they've held on to this op for multiple rounds. Tarek hasn't even died this game, and he's had that op for 2 rounds, so he's only going to be continuing to bank money. Hazed himself, still not buying up, holding on to that ump, now has $1,100. And I mean, really, there's no reason for him to give it up. He's clearly a player that is going to be capable of fragging with it if he positions himself properly. It doesn't even matter that he has an ump. Inferno is one of those maps that it gets pretty tight with the choke point, so if you can position yourself properly, an ump is just as good as any other rifle from that up-close range. So it would be a shame if he gets punished for it, but until he eventually goes down, no real reason to upgrade it.
Yeah, so into round 6, CLG with the commanding lead so far. They have 5-0. Can they stay perfect into this and not drop any rounds against Lunatic eSports? They would love to come away with a map win here, turn this into a tie, and not have 2 losses on their record, considering at the moment they have the best record in CEVO MLG Season 7 Pro League North America. Drossel takes that Hazed. Color is there quickly to trade it out, and I think the biggest issue that we saw from CLG earlier in the night and last night was they weren't effectively trading out frags, and right now it looks like they are. Oh, Tarek is able to miss it, or not able to. He misses a wide shot there, eventually gets taken down by Invert, and that's going to make it a 3-on-3 battle as terrorists take B.
Yeah, and the bomb is down in the fountain, so someone is going to have to recover that, as Color is going to challenge Relics on the flank and come away with it. So now down to a 2-on-2. While FNS makes it a 2-on-1 before quickly Invert cracks it down to a 1-on-1. Alt versus AK. Who's going to come out on top here? Who do you think has this? No time.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it was perfect on my guess. No, Invert looking very good with the op in his hands. Shooting effectively. Actually worked his way up Banana. Got onto the hay cart there. Was actually able to take down Tarek at the back of Spools. And then again, find himself a secondary frag with it. But Scouts with no frags so far into this. Drake with no frags so far into this. It's all been Invert and Relics so far. I mean, Drossel only has, what, 1? Yeah, so it's all Invert and Relics.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's an unfortunate reality of Counter-Strike, but sometimes you just can't get yourself going, especially on a hard map like this where they lost the pistol round. So they've been pretty much at a firepower disadvantage for the majority of the game. But it also is a really scary thing because, yeah, like, you know, they haven't been fragging, but the score is still 5-1, which is not terrible on Inferno. Imagine what happens once Drake, who we saw go absolutely nuts last game, starts to go absolutely nuts again if you can find that comfortability. What happens when Scout starts to put it together? What happens when they both do it at the same time?
Yeah.
Is that, like, that could very easily be the difference on these rounds where, I mean, they haven't been doing a great job on the rounds they've lost, killing all of the CLG members, but I think they've been in good positions. They've been doing a good job of fighting for map control wherever they need to.
Oh, Tarek was getting pushed down and moves his way down into first oranges. And Finesse works his way through the smoke. Can he stay up and get some frags? We'll find one. Is he able to get another one? Misses actually hits the shot, runs out of ammo. Now it's all up to Invert. He's going to be 1v4, has the opposite hand. Finesse is right there in front of him. He should be able to escape. No, he's getting hunted extremely hard here. Hits the op shot onto Finesse. He's only got one at the bottom of the banana. Flanking from behind here. That's going to be Hayes firing off a couple shots. Can Invert stay alive? This is going to be rough here. And Invert finally goes down to Lucky. And Lunatic, after grabbing a round, cannot string it together. And that will be 6-1 in favor of CLG.
For a while, I was a little concerned that we might be seeing like a Paradox Cloud9 map 2 kind of thing. Like, the Paradox pulled off the upset on map 1, which actually happened to be Cash at the time, and then just got absolutely steamrolled on map 2. I was thinking for a second that that's what CLG might be up to, and with that round win, it seems like they might be looking to go for that smash kind of win. It's not the 16-0 that Cloud9 was able to throw down. This round, we're actually going to see Lunatic not buy up anything, just have Glocks across the board, not willing to spend any money here as Tarek pushes down, gets a ton of map control and a frag for his troubles. It looks like CLG is just going to get pretty aggressive here because they can.
Oh man, pushing down, that's going to be Tarek and Finesse able to grab frags there. Tarek gets 2, Finesse gets 2, and that will be round number 8 in the books. 7-1 in favor of CLG.
Yeah, and as I said before, Lunatic, I feel like, has done a good job of getting to all the spots they need to. It feels like whenever they want to go B, regardless of how deep they get into B. On the first pistol round, they wanted to wrap Arch and go into CT, and they weren't able to come up with the round once they had wrapped over towards B, but they got there. Even on their eco rounds after the original pistol round, they wanted to get up right side, truck side, mid, and they didn't win the round, but they got there.
Oh, goodness.
So Drossel finding an opening frag, making it a quick 5-on-4 for the T's. They just need to keep that up. They need to find the frags. They've been getting pretty much everywhere they need to get to. They just haven't been doing the important part, and that's scoring the kills.
Yeah, into round 9. Trades going out in favor so far of Lunatic, so they're gaining a little bit of momentum here. And it's still looking rough, though. I mean, CLG on CT side of Inferno, they should win the majority of the rounds, as I said. But at this point, Lunatic would hope to have at least 3 rounds in their pocket, and they should be getting towards the end, hoping, all right, can we get 4? Can we get the 5th? But at this point, it's not looking the greatest for them, especially with CLG just being able to shut down almost everything they do, and they're winning retake battles. And right now, they're winning the entry battles, not allowing Lunatic to easily get their way into this A bomb site. Can't even get all the way out of mid. Now they're trying to wrap it around truck side, and Lucky's right there to go down to Drossel. Finesse will answer. Line up for Finesse. He's able to get 3. Now it's all up to Relics versus Finesse in that bomb site. Hayes is going to be on the rotate, the library player. He's out in library.
That might have been his chance.
That was the big one right there. Relics needs to burn out Finesse right here. Can he hit the shot? Hayes will take him down, but Finesse with a huge 3K and the lineup as players came around the truck side. That will be 8-1. CLG officially wins the half.
Yeah, killing Hayes there in library after he took that initial op shot was really Relics' chance of locking that one up. He needed to get that frag. When he threw the Molotov, he knew where the other counter-terrorist was, so if he just gotten that first one, he could have locked it up, but unfortunately just reacted a little bit too slow. He shot right behind the head, and with that, CLG, as you said, wins the half, and really so many rounds, and that round, Paris about to get a huge spray down, so I can save it, or actually maybe not. Finesse definitely there to clean it up. That last round was the first round since the first round of the half that Lunatic had even taken CLG down to less than 3 players alive. I mean, God, I don't know how many that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds they've kept 3 or more players alive. So, I mean, it definitely is reflected in their money. Hazed at 16K effectively, Cutler 12K, FNS 9, Lucky 9. Tarek's the only player who is really financially invested, and that's not a hard thing to recoup for his team. So while CLG is not only winning the rounds, but they're winning them super convincingly.
Yeah, they're looking like a completely different team than what we saw in map number 1. I mean, they were struggling very, very hard on map number 1 against Lunatik, and Lunatik now is going to be the team that's struggling, and it's not due to the fact that, as you can see here, look at Lunatik. They're gearing up right now. This is definitely going to be an A-site take attempt. They've practiced these smokes. They've got them down. They know where they need to go. They know how to execute off them. They're just not winning the aim battles against CLG. Here comes the smokes. They're coming out. They're going to try and work their way around the corners. More smokes coming out, and Cutler right off the bat is able to take down one. He removes Drozzle from the round, and they still keep pushing. Those smokes are pretty decent out right there. Finally, Invert is able to get one, but Tarek is able to get two, just spamming through the smoke, essentially. He's got to look into the bomb site as Relics is there on the flank. Relics will pick up two, and this is the best-looking round that Lunatik has had so far, besides the one round that they actually won.
Yeah, and that round did come down to a super tight one-on-one where they barely came out with it. So let's see how this one works out for them. Finesse about to peek Invert. Neither of them going to get the frag, but Invert wants some more.
Yeah, Relics is going for this. Finesse is right there. Can Invert get this final frag into a 1 versus 1? Can he take Lucky? And he will. Lunatik finally, thanks to Invert and Relics. Invert getting 3, Relics getting 2, is on the board with a secondary round as we hit round 12. So it's not too little too late. 6 rounds on T-side is not bad at all, but that's a full win out from this point.
Definitely, but I mean, even though they were able to come away with that round win, there was a lot of individual lucky moments that came together that allowed them to win it. I mean, the biggest non-lucky moment was the fact that their smokes and take landed perfectly. Like, I mean, they are clearly well practiced in that, but you know, Relics coming in through the site and getting 2 frags on players that aren't even looking in his direction, a little bit lucky. They're in that one-on-one, both players jumping on the truck, shooting each other through the metal, the AK having the advantage. A little bit lucky there. There's a lot of ways for that round to have gone poorly for Lunatik. But, you know, to their credit, they did come out on top of it. Unfortunately, this round, they're down 3 men pretty quickly, so looks like they might not be able to chain together the rounds and find some economic solvency that they so desperately need.
Yeah, so can Lunatik string together some rounds finally? They've got 1 off round so far, 2 of them to be exact, which isn't much. But Invert and Scouts very low. Tarek is right there defending the B bomb site. Scouts has to walk through. They don't check the corner for Tarek, and he's able to get some headway. Takes down Scouts before getting traded out by Invert. Invert is going to be all alone at the B bomb site. Has to try and check out in that direction, and Hayes with the omp in hand will get the finalizing frag of that round. That will be round 13 gone and away. Score will be 10-2, or excuse me, round 12 gone and away. 10-2 in favor of CLG.
Yeah, and I would, never recommend a team attempt this, but CLG is actually kind of reaping the benefits from losing rounds that have been pretty well spaced apart. Yeah, you're giving up some rounds, which you never want to do, but it's resetting their economy, and man, that is damaged Lunatik both times that has happened to them in this game. Unable to string together rounds to find the money they need to keep the pressure up, and it looks like they are going to be going straight for mid once again. Lucky going to be a first responder for them. He and Hayes team up well to shut things down.
Oh man, what a shutdown play there coming from CLG. Lucky with 2, Cutler with 2, and that's going to be CLG staying up for the 14th round. And into the 14th round, that'll make it 11-2 in favor of CLG. And at this point, no, Lunatik's going for it. They're going to go for the buyout right here. It's not final round of the half, but they're going for the buyout anyways. It's going to be a very light buy next round if they don't win this.
Yeah, I mean, now is as good a time as any for them. I mean, even if they do, lose, if they save this round, and they're going to be in a relatively similar position next round, maybe with a few more AKs. But really, the reality of the situation is that they just have to start winning, and Hayes bringing it off into an unconventional position, and we're going to see CLG starting to get a bit more aggressive in apartments, and they're coming out on top for it. It's something I called out earlier. It's not something that they've been doing a lot in this game, but when they did get aggressive on apartments, boy, did it pay off for them. Lunatik was just not ready for it.
Yeah, so already 2 frags going in favor of CLG, and they're looking like a completely different team here. This is the CLG that we've seen go 4-0 so far in CEVO. Not from what we saw last night. They're playing very well. Cutler will get 3 before he finally goes down, and CLG is going to turn this into a 12-2 half as we hit final round. And Lunatik, as I said, it's going to be a very weak buyout here. This is going to be 13-2 as long as CLG can hold on here in the anti-eco.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps it's time for Lunatic to just start getting aggressive, and I hate to say it, but kind of just for aggression's sake. They've tried to slow things down. They've done their smokes, their flashes, their set attempts, and they just haven't been able to wrangle those rounds in. So now I think it might just be time for them to find frags wherever they can get them, and if they need to force an engagement to find the frag, then maybe you got to do what you got to do. It is going to be a 4-on-4 now. The mid players are running into a really bad crossfire of Tarek and Cutler.
Oh, man. Invert right there, able to get one. Drake is able to trade out. Now it's all up to Drake. He's going to be into a 1 versus 2. And he gets off through the smoke at the end of it. Team Ace coming from CLG. Every player on CLG able to get a frag that round. That will make it 13-2. And the big role reversal transition that we've seen here, Finesse, I believe, was absolutely bottom fragging last time.
Huge this game.
And he's 21-5 at the moment. Cutler, steady consistency, man. 19-5. Tarek finally up. He was very low. He was now 14-8. Lucky down there at 9-6, and Hazed at 10-4. So they're all playing way, way better. And this time, Relic's the hero for map number 1. Not heroing. Only 9 frags to his name. And Invert being the guy that has to hero. But Drake having a lot of frags from map number 1, only at 2. Scouts with only 2 also. Drossel at 3.
Yeah, Inferno can just be a really suffocating map. So, while I thought Lunatic would be able to put up a better show, I'm not exactly surprised. Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think is more surprising? CLG kind of slamming Lunatic 13-2 on CT side of Inferno, or Lunatic beating CLG 16-10 on Cash?
In my opinion,
the Cash one, right?
No, not after what we saw last night with CLG. Not at all.
Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, you do have that going for you. But really, I don't know. I definitely was absolutely surprised by the Cash performance that Lunatic put on. But I'm not really surprised that CLG kind of got whipped into shape. I feel like we saw that happen with Cloud9, so I'm not surprised to see it here. But this round, Invert has to go huge. Needs at least 1 more, but Relics actually comes and saves him.
Wow, and a secondary one right there. Oh my goodness, Lunatic does not want to lose this. They want to be playing for the W, and they want to do it right now. 2K from Invert, 2 from Relics, and beautiful headshots there coming from Invert and Relics. 1 taps with those USPs to get themselves into that A bomb site on the retake there. That's going to be 13-3, and Lunatic still has a gigantic hill to climb here.
Yeah, they're going to have to start climbing and climbing quick. And, welcome to Counter-Strike, where if you ever make any declarative statements, the game is going to throw it right back in your face. Lunatic starting to put it together with some nice shots there. And this round, as we said on Cash, not even interested in toying with the idea of, the anti-eco. They're going straight for rifles, 3 FAMASs, 2 M4s, and they are just going to sit back and try to use their rifle in the best way you can. They do have actually some supplementary nades. I see 2 Molotovs grand total. And actually the rest are pretty much just flashes and heat grenades and decoys. Nothing too exciting there, but that Molotov can be a huge factor here. And Scout's actually going to smoke off B while the terrorists are trying to work their way through, allowing Relics to get a huge spray down. That's very classic Relics right there.
Yeah, Relics trying to do what he can. He's able to get 3 frags. Excuse me. Drake will answer. Able to take down Cutler. And they're controlling this so far. Hayes will be the last one left alive here. Takes down Scouts. Can he get Relics? Not quite able to. 4K for Relics. Almost the ace against an echoing Counter Logic Gaming. And that will make it 13-4. And again, the gap grows a little bit closer here. It's now down to 9 rounds between the 2 teams.
Yeah, even still, I would be absolutely shocked if Lunatic is able to bring this all the way back. Because CLG did get a bomb plant on the first round, they are going to be bought up this round. And, they are still a little bit behind on the firepower. I'm seeing 2 AKs versus 3 M4s. But I think at this point it is negligible. It's all going to be about who is going to be using their firepower more effectively here. Cutler actually dodging a lot of nades that were thrown right off the bat by B. They are still holding on to 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a flash, so it's not like they're completely out of grenades, but it seems like they might have prematurely dumped a lot of their offensive power over at B, and it looks like CLG kind of aware of that as they're now grouping up. It's a lot easier to beat 2 smokes and a Molotov versus 2 smokes, a Molotov, heat grenades, and flashbangs that are all keeping you out of the sight.
So now into round 18. Lots of nades expended here from Lunatik eSports, trying to hold on, prevent this first gun round from going in favor of CLG. And Molotovs, flashes coming out. Relics is not in first oranges, but he cannot go back to new box now. That's going to leave Scouts kind of out in the open here. He's doing some damage, able to get one, but Tarek is there to trade him out. Lucky gets the angle. Can Lucky get the spray down? And Tarek has to come in to finalize the frag, as now Drake is going to be rotating. He's got a teammate already close to them. That is going to be Drossel. They both work their way to the bomb site. Up Banana will be Invert. That nade's going to land onto Finesse. Can Invert get this frag? Will finalize it. He's got Tarek right there. Takes him down. That's 2 for Invert into it. Now Lucky over there at Emo. Hayes is going to be your player at the back of the new box. They know exactly where one is. They just got to clear him out. They got to clear out this final player. They know exactly where it is. And Invert will get him, and another 4K coming. This time Invert grabs it, and that will be Lunatik grabbing another CT-sided round. That'll be 13-5. CLG is up.
Yeah, a close one at that, and it was off the back of that really nice retake. Unfortunately, the Lunatic players just couldn't keep the terrorists out of the site long enough for them to really get the support they needed. You know, a lot of it comes down to the supplementary needs that they were lacking. However, the firepower came through. The rotating CTs able to bail out the B players there and come through with a nice-looking retake. Now we're going to see 5 rifles across the board for Lunatic. No op play quite yet on this half. CLG is going to look to get a little more aggressive over there towards B. Let's see if Relics is up for the challenge with just that 20-bullet M4.
Yeah, Relic's going to try and pay some dividends here with that. I think they are going against CLG, who's going to be on just a pistol buy here, which is not going to bode well for them. They're going to run directly into Scouts. He just holds it down, partially blind, pulls out the pistol, going for some more frags. Can he get them all? Runs out of ammo,
Relics.
Pulls out the knife, and Relics steals the Eco Ace away from Scouts, but he is able to get 4.
Would have been a pretty impressive Eco Ace, even though it was an Eco. 2 of those frags were full blind and through a smoke. Last one would have been a knife had Relics not snatched it right from him. So, good play from Scouts there. Kind of positioning himself properly, and even without his sense of sight, able to come away with the frags. Huge frags there, and Lunatic's bringing this back. As we said before, it's going to be really tough, but now 7 rounds is definitely a way more doable than the original 11. Kyle are actually going to take down Drossel, is getting a little bit too aggressive. But Invert and Drake, well, actually, it would have been Invert if Drake didn't pick that up. I teamed up to take down a Lucky who was playing a little bit aggressively in bench. Let's see if Invert... Oh, man, so close to catching Color. A lot of these players are so close to engaging, just not quite going for it. And Finesse actually comes out on top there.
Yeah, interesting. Finesse was able to grab Invert right there. And again, CLG is going to try and gear this back up towards the B-bomb site. They will be going 4 versus 1 at the B-bomb site. And now they're only going to be going 3 versus 1 at B. It looks like there's going to be a rotate, so they will have 2 men to beat inside the B bomb site, or 1 inside, 1 outside of it. They're going to be throwing some flashbangs down, and Scouts is able to take down Tarek. They're not able to push their way in. They're collapsed on from behind also, and that is going to be a good push from behind by Drake here. He's already got 2 frags into the round. Can he get another one? He will get himself a 3rd, hunting for the 4th frag now. Cutler at Water will go down. And Lunatic looking very good now after the side switch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is. I think a lot of it has to do with it's a symptom of Inferno. You know, even as I said before, Drake was the kind of player historically and on cash, the kind of player who finds ways to give himself some elbow room. And I think that's kind of hard to come by on a map like Inferno, where there are just so many really tight choke points. No real super wide open space. I guess mid is probably the most wide open area, and it's even then pretty narrow. So it seems like these Lunatic players are doing a good job of kind of dictating how and why the engagements are going down and where specifically. And they seem to be coming out on top. I mean, they did cut it close with a retake before, but it seems like if they are when they're able to keep CLG out, they're able to keep them out.
Yeah, they were holding on effectively, but Lunatic right now doing everything that they need to be doing. After the side switch, they're looking better than how CLG looked on their side. Rounds that they're dropping, or excuse me, rounds that they're winning them a little bit more decisively than CLG did, which is going to bode well for them, but they have to keep it going here. Invert will go down. The trade out was not taken by Scouts, not able to get over there fast enough, and as I'm talking about Lunatic looking very good here, CLG puts me in my place. Tarek able to get 2 openers. And there goes Tarek and Finesse, and Drossel out of the pit. Can he get a third? He will get it, and that is going to shut it down. He was effectively 1 versus 3 at the A bomb site because his teammate Relix was all the way at B on the rotate. Not only did he get the 1 versus 3 in the A bomb site off, got the defuse, all done before Relix could even get all the way over to that A bomb site.
Yeah, and it seemed like they just weren't ready for a player to be in pit. One of the 2 that he caught in that first spray down was looking towards him, but the guy going towards Graveyard seemingly unsuspecting, was not really even aware that he was going to be opening his back to that player. So great play there from pit, as Lunatic is now like super, like 5 rounds, totally reasonable at this point. Their only downside is that CLG is getting a ton of bonus money. They're going to be spending, and keeping the pressure up and up and up, but Lunatic has pretty much weathered it every time it has come their way. For a long time, I was kind of, denying the false hope and saying, yeah, like they're playing well, but, it's a time thing. Eventually, CLG will get it together. But it seems like they just have a grip over CLG that CLG can't break, and Drake almost picking up a 3rd one there, as CLG just cannot break this line of Lunatic Gaming.
Lunatic holding on this round, going back and forth so far, but that will favor Counter Logic Gaming in the long run, as it's much cheaper to be a terrorist. Tarek will take down Drossel, Invert's there for the trade on frag, so now it's all up to Finesse. Finesse can't take down Scouts, and that's a 2K for Invert, a 2K for Drake. But back to what I was saying, though, back and forth rounds keeps everyone's economy in check. Much cheaper to be a terrorist, which would favor CLG at the time. But Lunatic got a little bit more bankroll saved up here. Both teams about even at the moment. CLG a little bit lower than them, especially after these buyouts, and they're not really going fully for it. They didn't.
No,
they could have done. They could have done AKs.
They could have done some AKs. Some of their players were sitting at 35 and I think 34. They could have definitely gone for Galils, which is something we saw them do earlier. But it seems like Galils just aren't really cutting it for them right now. They need those AK-47s to really compete. Tarek able to afford one while the rest of his, and still be able to buy up next round with the bonus money he's receiving. So, why not take an AK if you can afford it? But it's almost getting to the point where it might behoove Lunatic to lose a round. Man. Not that I would ever recommend that, but it seems like this might be the one that Destiny has chosen for them. Those pistols just crushing their way through the site. Unbelievable map control that CLG has with a bunch of players still alive.
Yeah, they're doing very good right now. Dude, with only pistols in their hands, can they keep all 5 up and alive? They're trying to do everything that they can. Cutler's right there getting in a gunfight. Drossel takes him down. Drake will also gain some traction. Now it's going to be Drake and Invert trying to work against 3 alive, 2 alive terrorists now, but time is ticking down. They have kits out. Oh, Drake is going to try and get on this bomb. Tarek is right there. Tarek's going to get out, get that shot off. Now all he has to do is just hold on for the time being. Is able to get the clutch off. 1v2 for his team. Can't save the op as the bomb explodes and kills him. And CLG will be 1 round closer to match point, 14-9.
Yeah, as I was saying, I would never recommend a team lose a round, especially when the score is this close. But this may be what Lunatic needs to lock up the game. If they can win this round right here and really damage the economy of CLG and use that to continue furthering their streak, this might be the push they need to lock things up. I mean, when they were just winning rounds, round after round after round, we were just getting to the point where CLG is not going to let up, and they're just going to constantly put pressure on you. And the only way to stop the pressure is to not allow them to chain together rounds. So it's not a great predicament that they find themselves in, but it's one that they can work out. And if they work their way out of it, they're going to find themselves in a better position for it. But still, 5 rounds back at this point in the game, not quite what they are looking for. I mean, either way, I would say this half has been a major success for them, no matter how the rest of it pans out.
Yeah, definitely. coming back here, doing very good. I mean, the first half was absolutely amazing. But I mean, Lunatic went on that big burner right there. They went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds in a row before finally dropping around to CLG. They were looking very, very good there. If they could keep this going here, they're going to be on the fast track to be only down by 4 rounds. And look at that information Drake just got right there. He knows they are geared up in middle right now. Smokes and flashes coming out from CLG. They're going to try to work their way up. They run directly into Drake. Oh, Finesse. Trying to work his way through the smoke backwards was Color. He goes down to invert, and the Terrorists will rotate this around all the way into the B bomb site. And here comes the CT rotate. They know what's happening. Scouts is called for it, so Relics will be over in that direction also. Bomb has already worked his way up into the water. They know it's there. They hear the plant. Can Relics and his teammates do anything about it? The number 9, a Scout's trying. Smoke will go away. He's got one Terrorist right in his face. He's got a secondary one there, and Lucky trades him out as Tarek will go down. Lucky will drop back to the new box. And now it's all gonna be, can he stay alive? It will be Relics all by himself here. Trying to work his way out from the garden, all the way out of construction now. He's got to know there's somebody at the new box. He takes him down easily. So now it's up to Finesse. What is Relics gonna do? Fakes it. Finesse will jump up. Doesn't go for it.
Cold.
Makes a smart play. Now he goes for it, and Relics will get the frag, but it doesn't matter. I don't even think he's going to live from that. No, not able to live. And that will be a 15th round in favor of CLG, who is now at match point versus Lunatic, and they're trying to tie this game up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Finesse did a great job there of staying super collected and not over-peaking. What was a pretty obvious fake in the grand scheme of things. That was pretty much his only chance of locking up the round. Would have been super unfortunate if he had stuck it. But either way, Finesse obviously made the right play. I really think, though, the MVP of that round was Lucky, hopping towards new box, getting his position exposed pretty badly. I mean, the Commentators knew exactly where he was, and he was still able to pick up 2 frags from that position. So he was able to draw the attention away from other players while getting frags of his own. Huge, huge stuff from him. Cutler catching the first frag of this round as they look to close this game out 16-9.
Yeah, will be an absolute buyout coming here. Ooh, from Lunatic. Drossel with a beautiful shot there. Scouts also hitting a decent one, trying to even things out. They actually have a one-man advantage here. They have to win this round, and every round after this to stay alive in this. They got a big rotate over in the direction of A. 3 CTs are there. 2 of them are going to be near sight. The third one actually is in the sight now, too. And they're just going to retreat. They're going to turn this back around. I wonder if they're just going to wait and see if they can catch rotators and then try and take A anyways, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, not a bad plan there, but that smoke, I think, should reveal that things are still going down at A. It's all going to be on Scouts as the rotator over towards B. Now he's starting to work his way towards B. A little concerned that he might be getting creeped up on here, as his teammates, Drossel and Invert, are not really in a place to defend Arch. Needs are going out towards A, though. Let's see if the CTs here can stop it. Invert finds one.
Ooh, that's going to be Tarek, able to get its 2. Now it's going to be Scouts and Relics on the hard rotate here. Bomb is going to get planted. Not a lot of time left on the clock to make that happen, but they get it down anyways. So Tarek in the bomb site, down to 22 HP. Cutler down to 56 inside the pit. They have to play this perfectly. That's a good counter Molotov right there. That's going to get a little bit of burn damage on Scouts. Might actually die from it, and he will die from the gun of Cutler. So now it's all up to Relics. Can he get the 1 versus 2? And he's not able to. And CLG will bring things back, making that a 16-9 victory over Lunatic, actually mirroring the score of map number 1, except for the fact that Lunatic didn't win this one. Actually, no, it was 16-10.
Yeah, either way, yeah.
CLG versus, Luminosity.
Either way, I feel like this was, I mean, obviously that wasn't the ending that Lunatic was looking for, but
yeah.
I think the first game was kind of the anomaly there. It does not surprise me that CLG is going to have a ridiculously strong CT side on the map, and it also doesn't surprise me that they can lose 7 rounds of T side Inferno and still have the wherewithal to put some rounds together and close things out. It seems like, I don't know, both. Weirdly enough, we saw the full spectrum of both teams here. Kind of the classic top tier 1 team kind of choking on map 1, and then taking that as a slap on the wrist and really shaping up for map 2 and not giving the team any real chance in the game. I mean, the 13-2 half in the beginning was pretty brutal. And
Yes,
as
it
you said
was.
before, Lunatic players kind of cooled off a little bit. The players that were absolutely huge, like Relics, 98.3 ADR, Drake, 98.3 ADR, dropped, let's see, 80 ADR in game two. So Relics, how can you really complain about that? But Drake dropping down to
Yeah.
65. Drawsoul himself only dropping 42 ADR. I mean, those numbers just aren't going to cut it. It's unfortunate, but that those just aren't. You're just not doing the damage and winning the gunfights that they need. It seemed like, as I said, that their strats were sound. They were getting the places they needed to get to. They just couldn't get the kills once they were there.
Yeah, and it really it really didn't blow or oh wow, it didn't wow, bode well. Goodness, I cannot say bode well for them. But I mean, I was honestly more surprised that they were able to come back from that in map number 2 after what we saw from them last night, which was not good at all. And I mean, nothing to take away from Luminosity last night. They played really, really good. But the thing is, I didn't expect them to come back from them. I thought they were just going to get a little too into their heads, have too many issues, not be able to recover and come back, especially after watching them lose on Inferno last night, which was looking like a map
Starting
that you're
from
like, all
CT
right,
side, no
yeah,
less, if I'm not
starting from
mistaken.
CT side. I mean, it was an 8-7 half initially, and then they just completely turned it around. They had a 13-2 CT side, and they're like, yeah, all right, we're back. We can play now again. And they really turned it on, did what they needed to. Of course, I mean, what? They lost 7 rounds out in a row to Lunatic in second half, but they were able to bring it back, make some nail biters out of some of those situations, and eventually close out the game, which, again, has been just kind of a staple coming from CLG. Closing out games is never easy for them. And I feel like tonight was no different. I mean, 7 rounds in a row that they could have easily won that game after just winning 3.
Definitely, and I think they're going to be kicking themselves in that this was one that they very easily could have locked up as a win for them. And this was,
Yeah.
I think, what a lot of people consider a super winnable series for them. And the fact that they only came out, I mean, the fact that they tied is, I think, really a win for Luna. I mean, that is a point that there is no way that they were banking on when they originally saw the schedules come out, right? And they think, like, okay, like CLG,
Yeah.
that's going to be a tough one. Maybe
Yeah,
we
right?
can, the teams that we can 2-0 are probably like maybe like Ace off the top of my VVV they beat, teams like
Yeah.
kind of that are more around their level. Like, those are the ones where you can expect to come away with the 2-0. CLG, Luminosity, Cloud9, those are the ones not really sure how it's going to go. The fact that they came away with a tie there, major, major success for them. I think they looked really impressive. And yeah, I think that was a kind of a good showing for both teams, mostly CLG at the end and mostly Lunatic at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. And real quickly, guys, what we have coming up next for you guys will be Lunatic eSports versus Nylum Gaming, and we're a little bit ways out from that game. Scheduled start time will be 7:15 Pacific or 10:15 Eastern.
The one true time zone.
Yeah, Pacific. But thank you for agreeing with me on that one.
No, all right.
And I
Well,
don't.
you
And I
spun
don't
that
know.
on me.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. CEST. Maybe is that like
Oh God. I'm
like
not even going to
5,
pretend
5:15?
I can.
4:15. Okay,
4:15.
yeah, I thought it was 5:15. It's apparently I just talked to it in my ear. It's 4:15 CEST, which is that Central European Standard Time, I believe is what that abbreviation is. But that game is going to be coming up next. It is the best of 2 series. I will be back. Later will be back with me. And before we get out of here, guys, how is your Vulcan doing? My Vulcan's doing pretty decent right now. In my head-to-head matchup, I am in the lead. Not by a ton, and my lead was 100 points in total. Now it's shrunk down to about 60, 75 points in total. I'm in first in my head-to-head matchup, and then in the big matchup, the 8,000 player one, I am 196th out of 8,000.
All right. That's pretty
I'm
good.
Doing pretty decent. I mean, of course, Drawsoul being able to pick up a little bit more than 15 points would have helped out a lot. But I still have Hiko left to go, and I have Semphis left to go also. And, of course, Drawsoul will come on back for that game. But honestly, I think it's going to be a tougher battle here for Drawsoul to be able to come out of that. So I really need Hiko and Semphis to really hold it down for me and step it up big time and not let this be a wash, because I would like to win these games. And if you want to join the fun, get on Vulcan.com. Use the promo code CEVO for them to match your initial deposit up to $1,000. They match it 100%. You put $20 in, they give you an extra 20, so you have 40 in total in your account. Get on VULCUN.com. have fun, play against me. I'm always on there betting on CEVO in those head-to-head matchups. So if you think your CSIQ is a little bit better than mine, get on there, see if you can outpick me and have some fun. And but I think we're going to take a quick little break, guys, play some commercials, wait for these teams to get ready to roll, and right near scheduled start time, we will come back, do a little bit of breakdown between the two teams and what we think is going to happen, and we will get that game underway in about 35 minutes to 33 minutes.